Hello! In this video we're going to look at how to capture this kind of time-lapse and turn it into a still star trail image. Or this one, just using a camera like the Osmo Pocket 3. All the software that I've used to do this is free. And it's all available on all the common platforms. Let me just start by saying I'm not an expert. I'm just a bloke that hacks around trying to figure things out. This all started when a mate of mine took a really good star trail photograph and I was jealous, so I thought I'd try and figure out how to do it myself. I'll split this into three parts. The first part, where we'll have a look at what stuff you need to get this done, software and hardware. The second part, where we'll look at how you actually capture a time lapse at night. And the third part, where we convert that time lapse into a still star trail photo. I use an Osmo Pocket 3, which on the surface of it is a regular vlogging camera, but it turns out that it's a lot more than that. We have a regular PC, and I use a GNU image manipulation program called GIMP, which is free. And I use an app or plugin for GIMP called DarkTable, which allows GIMP to process raw files or converts those raw files into JPEGs for GIMP to process. Using the Osmo to capture a time lapse is pretty simple once you've convinced it to hold its shutter open long enough to get a clean image in a dark sky. These are the settings that I use. In still image mode, set it to capture JPEG plus RAW. The files are big, but storage is cheap and you can always get rid of them when you're done. But of course, if you're like me, you probably won't. Here's the important bit. Swipe right to left, make sure you're in Pro mode, and then turn the exposure right down to 50 to 100 ISO and confirm. You can leave everything else on automatic. I think those settings work okay for me. Play with whatever you want though. With these settings, the Osmo will just ignore its 1 second rule for shutter speed and just leave it open as long as it needs to get a clean image. Now you're ready to put it into time-lapse mode. Once you're there, you swipe up and set the resolution to 4K and frames per second to whatever suits you. Now you're set to record your time-lapse. Can I suggest that you don't do what I did, which was to sit the camera on a beer carton, on top of a 10-litre paint tin, on top of a chair. Something a little bit more stable will be more satisfactory. And I also suggest that you start the camera and stop it from the DJI Mimo app because it just saves you jiggling the camera. Any real glitches that you're getting can probably be edited out later anyway, so it's not that big a drama. Right, you've got your nice time lapse, hopefully without the jiggle in the middle that the shifting beer carton created in this one. And now it's time to make your star trail. The Osmo will store a raw image file for every frame it takes in the time lapse. You need to load these onto your computer. You'll find them in the DCIM folder. Inside that, there's the time-lapse folder. Then find the right one, the right time-lapse, and it will contain all your RAWs. In this case, there are 241 of them. GIMP won't process RAW files without a plugin, and I found that process a bit of a nuisance, so I just use DarkTable to convert them into JPEGs first, then I'll import them into GIMP. DarkTable's interface isn't all that friendly, but if you look around carefully, you'll find things. Click Copy and Import on the left, then add a place to import from and navigate through to where you've stored your RAWs, and then click in the Folders area to locate them. Then copy and import, and it will bring all of those files into DarkTable. And you'll see it's got all 241 images imported into DarkTable. Now I'll convert all these images to JPEGs. So in DarkTable, Control A to select all, then locate a place where you want to put them. And in this case, I actually created a new folder in which you'll note that I very cleverly misspelt the title. Select as output destination, then start the export. I made sure that the file format for export was JPEG at 90%. You find the control on the right hand side. Now we've got a folder full of JPEGs to import into GIMP. It's important that we open them as layers. I just tell it to keep the image's color profile and not to ask again, and then it'll just bring them all in. In the Layers panel, select all of your layers, but you'll see that you're only seeing the top one. In the Mode menu, select Lighten Only. GIMP takes the bottom layer, then only adds light, which is additional to each layer above it. You'll see in this image that there's a break in the star trail and that the foreground's a bit fuzzy. And this is because about halfway through, the camera got bumped and it moved. So I kind of got around that by only including layers before or after the bump. Here I'm turning layers on one at a time. There doesn't seem to be any way in GIMP to do a group of layers all in one go, hoping for a future update on that one. I just kept going until I had a star trail that I was happy with. You can probably also see that the star trails are slightly granular, and that's probably because I set the interval on the camera originally at 30 seconds, and it should have been quicker than that. It's kind of surprising to me that the planet moves that quickly that in 30 seconds we can see a difference in where the stars are located. This sequence was taken from a balcony at Thredbo. You can see the lights from the groomers moving up and down the slopes. You can see the snowmaking, and we were lucky enough to see some fireworks. The camera captured 4 frames of fireworks, so I just went back and turned on the couple of layers that I thought I wanted in the final picture. Then you just export the image as a PNG or a JPEG, and Bob's your uncle. So if you've got this far, thanks. Really appreciate you watching. Hope it's helped.